The Origin and Impact of Globalization, Australia, by Nicole Cuthbert. In this presentation, we will review an introduction of Australia, globalization influences, which include pros and cons, a MNC in Australia, two international institutions involved within the country, trading agreements, trade partners, and why Australia is great. East Australia was colonized by Captain James Cook of Great Britain in 1770, who formally named it New South Wales. In 1851, the population increased with the discovery of gold in many locations. In 1901, the Commonwealth of Australia was developed with the unity of 6 states and passed an anti-immigration law for whites only to migrate to Australia. The Great Depression hit Australia in 1929, causing exports to decrease and unemployment to increase. In 1942, Australia became officially independent with the passing of the Statute of Westminster Adoption Act. From 1948 to 1975, the Australian government motivated immigration from Europe, bringing over 2 million people within several decades, and restricted immigration for unskilled workers to enter the country. In 2006, East Timor and Australia signed oil and gas reserves agreement for the Timor Sea while also experiencing great loss in farming from the worst drought in the century. In 2014, tariffs between Japan and Australia decreased from the signed trade deal. Australia's globalization influences heavily relate to an open economy, democratic political stance, and diverse culture. The economy, while heavily trade-related, offers a vast employment opportunity pool with highly educated individuals, allows for overseas markets to remain open and flourishing, further growing the imports and exports, and providing higher living standards, even with only 0.3% of the entire population in the country. The country strives on natural resource exports such as minerals and fuel, while engaging with high demands such as education, technology, tourism, and agriculture. Australia is a democracy which value freedom of speech, religion, election, assembly, and participation politically, rule of law, and basic human rights. These political factors allow the citizens to have a say in what happens with their government. Australia's culture is diverse with attention to climate actions such as renewable resource, science and innovation, tourism, sports and creative arts, education, and having strict visa and immigration rules, which assists the country remaining clear of invading environmental impacts. Australia offers easy access to building businesses by having laws that protect both the lender and borrower, quick registration process with the Australian Securities and Investments Commission, no minimum paid-in capital requirement, and different business structures. The strong economy is built on diverse and skilled employees who have educational achievements such as degrees, certificates, or advanced diplomas which relate to their profession. Most Australians speak English, but many citizens speak other languages such as Greek, Mandarin, Arabic, Vietnamese, and Cantonese from immigrating to the country. Australia's economy, according to the International Monetary Fund, accounts for 1.6% of the global economy and 12th largest in the world, while also remaining low in debt. Australia's judicial system provides protections via laws and policies to reduce wrongdoing and provide confidence within companies. Australia's time zone and history with being connected to the UK provide strong relations within the global market. Some of the cons or setback challenges for Australia are the complex tax system, which are on a local and national level, and complicated employment laws, which include over 100 awards breaking down employment agreements. Another challenge relates to the supply chain risk with high demand raw materials and non-essential goods. Australia has a diverse ecological environment, including extreme weather events that continues to intensify with climate change. A MNC in Australia is BP, which is a London-based company and largest provider of fuel. They secured a partnership with Woolworths Group, Australia's largest retailer, to provide rebranding to fuel and convenience sites spanning across 16 cities. BP offers international experience and expertise in these markets, which allows for higher quality of food products, loyalty programs, and fuel options. BP entering Australia brings value to BP products while expanding Australia's relations in the global consumer market. BP faced challenges with the Australian Competition and Consumer Commission and the Foreign Investment Review Board, which both had to approve. BP encountered a huge growth for locations throughout Australia with this partnership by adding to their 350 company-owned retail sites, branding to another 1,000 independent sites, and a second phase of more than 200 metro sites. Two international institutes, the World Trade Organization provides rules and policy to promote open markets, increased investments, reduced red tape, and advance trade liberalization. This allows Australia to remain competitive, opportunistic, and efficient in their economy. The WTO collaborates where all members have a fair opinion and make decisions. This benefits Australia with enforcement of policies for the country's imports and exports, while also building the economy stronger in the global market. Australia has also been involved with the United Nations for the past 70 years, benefiting action on climate change, removal of infectious disease, managing internal conflicts, eliminating mass destructive weapons, management of humanitarian crises, and agendas for sustainable development. This has assisted Australia to remain secure with imports and exports, advancements throughout the economy, and protected Australia's resources. Australia brings value to the UN with protection of citizens, gender, development, and with crisis and humanitarian response. This further supports the country as a whole. Trade bloc and trade agreements. The Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement expands on Australia's free trade agreement with 14 Indo-Pacific countries that provides enhanced rules and access to trade and investing within this region. This covers investment, economic and technical cooperation, trading in goods and services, intellectual property, competition, government procurement, rules on electronic commerce, and small and medium enterprises. This agreement secures and builds upon the agreement between the nations involved while enhancing the economic conditions of Australia. Some of the exports and trading partners. Countries' currency rate will dictate the increase or decrease for demand products. Australia's main exports are natural resources, which fluctuate depending on the natural resource and demand of that resource. Majority of the export trading partners are located on the eastern hemisphere of the world, which include Japan, China, South Korea, and India. The export costs in United States currency range from China just under $117 billion to India around $13.6 billion. China being the leading purchaser of Australia's exports by roughly $86 billion will cause the economy issues if China cannot remain consistent with their purchases due to currency fluctuations. Next, we move into imports. Australia's main imports are machinery, parts, fuel, and pharmaceuticals. When the currency rate appreciates, the import cost reduces, increasing the demand. The main import countries are China, just under $73 billion, United States, around $26.6 billion, Japan, just under $16 billion, and Thailand and Germany, both around $11 to $11.5 billion. China is a heavy partner of both exports and imports with Australia. As both countries fluctuate with exports and imports, will as well when they are exposed to risk for each country. Since the trade partnership is extremely strong between the countries, Australia can utilize this partnership as the economy changes. I chose Australia because the country heavily focuses on its economy, which in turn places positive influence on its citizens and environment. 90% of Australians live on the coast, such as the cities of Perth, Sydney, and Melbourne, with hundreds of smaller beach towns. Leaving the inland, which is uninhibited, which could allow the country enormous development opportunities as the world advances. Tasmania Island, with clean air, like Antarctica, displays Australia's care for the environment. This transitions into caring for the overall livelihood, which includes its animals. 80% of Australia's animals are unique to the country, which is directly related to Australia's strict importing and exporting laws. These fun facts link just how important Australia values their country. Next is a list of resources that I used. I hope you enjoyed this presentation on Australia.